Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everyone in between, I am OverHugs, and I'd like to welcome you back to Building Bread. Thanks for choosing to join us on the adventure today. Today, we're going to be enhancing our base with something we've needed for quite a while, and that is a concrete maker. I have definitely had some projects where I've needed concrete, and I've been making them by hand, but that's not really very fast. What we're going to do is we're going to create something that will allow us to blow up concrete as fast as we can place it. And to that, let's start talking about how that's going to work. Concrete is a very simple recipe to craft. All you need to do is have some sand, some gravel, and a dye. And that can create any of the 16 colors of concrete that you want. So when you go through and do this, you will create concrete powder. And concrete powder, when it is exposed to water, turns into concrete. Now, you can't just do something like throw a stack in and expect to get concrete unless you have a mod or something installed. You actually have to place the block and then break it, which, if you've seen in previous episodes, leads us to doing this, where we will put concrete in our offhand and have a pick in our main hand, and then we can just basically hold down both buttons, and it will create and destroy concrete like this. Now, this is fine, but one, it's kind of slow. Like, if you're looking, we can only do, this is as fast as we can do it. There's no way to do it faster. And it will wear down the durability of our tools over time, so you don't want to walk away for too long or you could end up having a broken pick. So in order to combat both of those things, we want to build basically a concrete farm. And what we're going to do is we're going to build it over here in the sky. I want to expand the base a little bit, and I don't want to build up another island. So what we're going to do is build something that looks like it makes sense where it is, being up here in the sky. Can you guess what it is? Can you? Can you? Why don't we take our super speed potion and get into a time lapse? That was a heck of a build. This is definitely the biggest thing I think I've built in Minecraft, if not ever, for a very, very, very long time. And this, what you saw in a time lapse, probably took me about 6 or 7 hours to construct this whole thing. It was a lot, but I'm very happy with it. It turned out quite well. So let's go inside and check out the farm that we actually constructed inside of our OverHugs blimp monstrosity. And the way that you get inside is you can land anywhere here on the deck, and this is all slabs, so it's all spawn-proofed, and climb up this ladder to get inside. So this concrete maker is an activation and raise works farm. And it's a pretty simple farm. The only changes that we ended up making was we changed the storage system so that it was a little bit better than just collecting in chests, because I'll be using this a lot over the next couple of episodes. We need quite a bit of concrete, and because of that, I wanted to have the individual storage, which as we start making different colors will fill up. That's not something we have to worry about right now. But let's climb up to the top of the farm here and see how it works. And we just put in this little ladder so that we could get up to the top, since it is wholly contained within our blimp. What you want to do whenever you're doing this is to go ahead and get your concrete, and you can put it in the chests up here. This basically is just a system that will deliver so that you have enough storage to have a ton of concrete powder if you want to, but really this is the only one you have to fill in. So we'll put in all of our green concrete powder and let that go through and fill up the droppers and such. And while that's happening, let's walk a bit through the storage system. So the storage system here is a very typical item filter that you've seen in the past. We've built this a ton. I don't think I really need to go over this again. And each one will have its own individual chest. So that if we go in here, this will be orange. And over here, this one will be white. So I will take the white concrete that I made while I was testing this and put it in here. And again, just if you don't remember, the way you deal with this is to go and actually put the concrete in there so that it will take up a spot, and otherwise the concrete will just go around and around in a circle looking for its home while you're going through and filling this, because this will manufacture enough to where you'll overwhelm it eventually, depending on how much gets blown up at a time. The way that the farm is constructed is the timing is done through a series of droppers back here in the left. As we're climbing up, you can see them above the observers themselves. And it's important, if you build this for yourself, an item has to go in these droppers. These droppers operate on a circle, so they're basically a clock, and it is what triggers the TNT duplicator over here to spit out a piece of TNT that will blow up at exactly the right time as these items are being pushed. Because when items are being pushed by a piston, they have 0 blast resistance, so we'll blow up the maximum amount of items that we can with each piece of TNT. And if your world or something doesn't let you duplicate, you could just replace this with a dropper and it would accomplish exactly the same thing. You don't need TNT duplication. I just don't see any reason not to use it. So coming down here, we want to come down here and we want to have this trapdoor push us down. And we want to sit in a point of where we'll be able to collect the concrete powder as it's carried out here from the droppers above, out of this little mini waterway. And we just basically want to sit over on this side, aim at the back, and hold down right click. And you can see as the redstone torch here completes the circuit from the piece of concrete powder, we will push the area forward where it will be converted from concrete powder into concrete by this water source up here, and it will be pushed through the piston system and it will explode, and we are all happy. So let's see this fully in action. So you can see we're basically keeping up with the concrete powder. It's a little less as we're going through, but a lot of that is because we haven't completely filled up the system. If we had all the droppers completely full, this would be giving us 4 every single time that it gets triggered, so we would never run out. And you heard the TNT duplicator go off. So if we look down here, we can see this going and circling around until it finds its correct place, and that is it. That is the system. This is not a complicated farm. So this was a ton of wool. So if you don't do something about the top here, you're going to have yourself a giant unintentional mob farm. So what we did do is we went through and we put carpets on the top here, and I would highly recommend you do that. If we go into statistics and find the wool, you'll see that we placed down almost 5,000 pieces of wool, and the vast majority of it was for this project. Now, we do have a wool farm over here, and this worked pretty well, but I drained it of every single piece of wool that it had, and it wasn't enough. One of the things to keep in mind is if you're going to do this project and you have a general mob farm like we do, you can take string, and string can be combined to make wool. So this is basically how we went through and made sure that we got enough without doing a tremendous amount of farming. This has been running for a while since we built it way back in episode 14, I think. So we had quite a bit of string to go through, and we used most of it. For those of you who are still around at this point of the video, thank you for watching this far. You're awesome. I wanted to take a minute and answer a question that I've been getting a lot lately. And that question is, how can you help? I've gotten a lot of questions around this with people who would like to be able to contribute more, but for whatever reason can't. They can't subscribe to Patreon or anything like that, and that's 100% okay. I have no expectation that anyone is going to do it. Anybody who can contribute, all my Patreons, I thank you for going above and beyond. So how can you help as somebody who wants to help feed people and provide meals to folks who don't have any? First off, what you can do is join the Discord. And this is at discord.overhugs.com. It is 100% free, everyone is welcome, and I would love to see you there. We have a lot of great conversations around things in Minecraft and other semi-related stuff. So please come and join us. I'll also put a link down in the description. The other way that you can help is in order to monetize YouTube and get money for the ads that you're already seeing whenever you watch my videos, I need to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watched video. Now, when I look at the statistics, and I'll throw that on screen here now, more than 80% of you are watching without subscribing. So literally, if you could just take 2 seconds to right now go and subscribe and click the subscribe button, that would help a lot. The more subs that I have, the closer we are to the goal of where I can take the ad revenue, again, of the ads you're already watching, so there's nothing new, and get it to the point of where I can donate that money to food banks. Other things that help is the likes do help. Whenever YouTube is deciding what they want to show, whenever you like the video, and if you watch it longer, that is what it uses in order to recommend what it's going to show to other people. So liking the video definitely helps a lot. Another way you can help, again, that costs you nothing, is to go on Twitch and follow. I want to do more streaming, and I can monetize that from Twitch if I have 50 followers and an average of 3 viewers per stream. Now, we're almost at 500 subscribers right now. Sign blocking face. We're almost at 500 subscribers here on YouTube. So if only 10% of you went and followed me on Twitch right now, that would get us to our goal. I'll put the link to that in the description as well. And again, above all, thank you for just watching in the first place. You are making the dream that I have of being able to donate this money to food pantries a reality just by being here. And I'm very, very grateful. And lastly today, I wanted to cover nanofarms. In order to make the little piece of bread over there for the sign, I had to get enough wheat, and it made me realize that quite often you could be in a situation where you just need a couple pieces of something, and you don't feel like setting up a full farm and waiting for it to grow. So that's what nanofarms are for. And a nanofarm is just a very small farm that can generate a specific amount of crops that you would use just for that. It is definitely not something that's going to be efficient, but when you care more about speed over efficiency, it's when there's a great time to do it. So start off with an area where you have enough open space. Get yourself a water source, and I've just hidden it underneath this trapdoor here. You can use a stair or honestly just a pit of water, it doesn't matter. Take an observer and point it in the area where you want to build the farm so that the face is looking at the area that you want to build your crop. Take yourself a dispenser and another dispenser and aim them at the center here. This is going to be where you grow your crop. What you can also do, and sometimes you need this and sometimes you don't, but it's easy enough to do it, is add a third dispenser pointing down, and you can do it like this. Nice and easy way to take care of it. What you want to then do is take some blocks and put them around so that it will carry your redstone signal. Take a couple of your redstone dust and move it out, shift clicking so that it goes on top of the dispensers. Like that. Place yourself a sticky piston so that it is one block away from your dispenser like this, and put a solid block behind it. Connect up your redstone to that solid block. Now you can come in here and hoe your farmland if you haven't already. And what you want to also do is put one solid block right here in front of the sticky piston. Take the bone meal and put at least a stack into each dispenser. This is now the Nanofarm, and it is built. What you can do is just stand right here, have seeds in your hand, and right-click the plot of land. Every time that the solid block moves in front of the crop, since they cannot grow in darkness, the block creates darkness, which makes the break. Once it breaks, you can pick it up, and then it opens up again, so that you can replant it. And as you can see, this is not the fastest way to do it, but it is a good way to get a relatively small amount. This isn't the most efficient way that you could do a nano farm, but I've found it is more than enough, because in the amount of time that I've been talking, we have a stack of wheat when we started from 0. So this is more than enough to go through and just get a basic amount. And during that, we used basically the stack of bone meal. So like I said, it's not efficient, but it is fast. And that's how you build a nano farm. This will work with wheat, carrots, potatoes, beetroots, any crop where it is the singular thing like this, where it is just one plant. So that's it. That's how you build a nano farm. And with that, we're gonna call it a day. Let's go and steer the Hugs blimp away and sail off into the distance. Doesn't quite work that way, but we can pretend. Once again, I wanted to thank you for choosing to spend your time on the adventure with me today. I have been OverHugs, and this has been Building Bread. As a reminder, I donate all the profits that I make off of this to local food banks, so I would really appreciate it if you could like, subscribe, or tell a friend. Together we can help people that are in need. I hope you have the most wonderful of days, and I'll see you soon.